Nick. Greetings, welcome to Shadowstar for this Starship visual review video. Allow me to introduce you to the beautiful Machala Refit Warbird. A new mass production model rolled out for those Klingon recruits and are acquired via the Klingon recruit mission basis. Complete up to the mission bringing down the house and take down a certain target while at the Bat'leth tournament, and you'll be able to unlock this vessel, at least its aesthetic appearance. But I have to give a slight disclaimer right now. We may not be actually in the Machala Refit. We may be in the Machala Pilot Bird of Prey. Yes, the skin can be crossed over with that ship. So, without further ado, I'm Captain Ri'shad, aka the Renegade, and shall we begin? So here she is, the beautiful, graceful Machala Refit, which actually looks like it can land on the planet, unlike its predecessor. Yeah, just saying that right now. I've never been a fan of the actual Machala. This bird of prey, no, just no. I'm not a fan of Klingon Discovery aesthetics, but this was one of the ones I really disliked. There are two I like, but hey, that's not to be said. We've got the bird of prey, Machala Refit alternative. What they've gone for there is the Machala Refit using the Rodavel hull is sort of in fitting with STO's timeline and parameters, where the Machala Refit alternative is more in fitting with what you'd have seen in the Star Trek TV shows such as Deep Space Nine. If this ship was to be in that, it would have looked more like this than anything else. And I do appreciate that little bit of detail they decided to put in there. It's also good to note that it does have a sort of feather aesthetic, despite not having really the normal aesthetic you'd see for hull plating. There's no custom bridge, but of course Klingons were... You could fly Klingons when they were actually doing custom bridges and random different ones, so if you did want to pick up one for a bit of zen, they're not too expensive. I've picked up a couple in my time. Very smartly, they've not thrown bridge windows on or escape pods, because come on, Klingon vessels don't use escape pods. Really? Do they? It's shameful for a Klingon to flee from battle, so hey. On that note though, I will take this opportunity to point out the window scaling. Now some of you have probably already guessed at the size of this ship, but I have checked how big this, or how large the Machala Refit is in Star Trek Online, so next to other ships, and she's a teeny tiny bit bigger than the NX class is in the game. Just to give you a rough idea, if you were going to say in canon, she's just a tiny bit bigger than one of them. Not bad, especially considering we've got a actual bird of prey from Star Trek Enterprise at the moment. So yeah, well, coming out with the legendary pack. Now as for materials you have for this ship, we have the bird of prey, which looks quite nice, I will say. The Charg, which is a discovery vessel. Gatinga Alpha, looking relatively nice. Gatinga Beta, looking great. I really like this aesthetic. The Machala Bird of Prey, which, as much as I don't like the Machala Bird of Prey, I will still acknowledge that this does look relatively nice. The one that I just don't have a clue how to say the name of, Quark? Did I just call it the Quark? Yes, he's a Ferengi, good name. TOSD 7, which, despite its extremely smooth plating, looks absolutely amazing just by looking at mission pods, because you can see that it's not entirely smooth, and it's a bit of nice detailing for it. Type 0, not entirely sure what's going on there. 1, 2, 3, damn, 4 looks good. 4 looks menacing. Upgrade. Veteran. Vorcha, as we've seen, and the Rodaval. got to say, love the hull plates you got on the ship. The only thing that I'm now going to niggle at, the one thing I'm a little bit disappointed on, is as much as I don't like the Discovery aesthetic, players do. And it'd have been nice to just be able to mix up the look a little bit, just to give players that little bit of extra choice. I mean, I understand why they didn't, because that is pretty hard to cross the two across with each other. But it would have been interesting if they gave us the option, just even if they did it in like 3 portions, so head, hull, wings. May not have entirely looked great all the time, would have been nice just to have. Anyway, let's get to actually looking at the finer details of the ship. And holy word, we've got a lot to look at here. So, we will be looking at the Vulture variant, or should I say the Machala Refit's alternative, since the standard is a little bit too dark here in the Dyson sphere. But let's get to discussing the details of this vessel, which there are a lot. Oh boy, I don't even know where to start. I really don't. There is so much I like about this vessel, because so much this vessel improves upon from the Machala, and I can't help it. I really like it. In fact, it almost gets the bird of prey aesthetic to a state that I really like the bird of prey aesthetic. See, I was never really a big fan of even the Klingon bird of preys. I was more of a Vulture Katinga fan than I am the bird of prey itself. With one difference, I like the articulation and the low profile of the bird of prey. Now this one is always essentially in tack stance, so that's the first thing I want to note on it. However, unlike the original Machala, the wings placements actually makes it look like this one can still land on the planet's surface in a similar manner to the original bird of prey. Speaking of, that gets us straight into our first subject of finer detailing. Let's go straight here. Hello, head. This is quite literally a Burrell head, but way more refined. Sleeked out, stretched a little bit. The detailing is brilliant. I love the way the neck attaches to it as well, and all that detailing going on there. It looks so industrial, but it also looks functional, robust. It does have the quick manufacturing feel to it as well, which I really do like. And moreover that, it kept true to the Burrell bird of prey, and it didn't just refine the head, it even refined the deflector. Which is, let's just be fair, that was not easy to do. Getting the deflector done just right, and it's hard for me to get in here. Getting that deflector just right was a job and a half, and I'm impressed that they managed to do it so well. Speaking of deflector, those of you who have remembered TOS will know that sometimes weapons fired from odd places. That even happened in TNG, to be fair. Like torpedoes being fired from the deflector dish. Now, apparently there is a torpedo launcher mounted within the Klingon deflector. So I do like the aesthetic feel there. It looks like there could be a charging chamber to help fire that torpedo out. But speaking of weaponry, as we drop back, you'll notice that this ship is extremely well armed in more ways than one. So let's count it down. What do you immediately see on this ship, weaponry wise? Now, essentially I count, in essence, 3 primary weapons, a possible secondary, and then its torpedo launcher. That's if you count the deflector as a torpedo launcher. Otherwise you could say the possible secondary is the torpedo launcher. But let's go through these. So first of all, you've got the wingtips, which look like they have light twin disruptor cannons on each one of them. Go up the wings to the Burrell type head on this ship, and you have those twin disruptor cannons there, which look like your more standard or more powerful disruptor cannons. They might be heavy. Bearing in mind that this ship is the size of the NX class, so that's pretty well equipped already. You've got 2 light twin disruptor cannons and 2 normal twin disruptor cannons. God, this is messing my mouth here. 2 twin light disruptor cannons, 2 twin standard disruptor cannons, and finally, sitting here in the middle, oh hello you looking beastie here, we have the very powerful looking, possibly heavy disruptor cannons, or maybe even mega disruptor cannons if they're like the mega phasers that you'd find in the Miranda class. And let's get into the detailing of this. You've got a decent nozzle there with obviously its targeting sensor, which seems to be running low. Then you follow back along that charging barrel, which has so much detail going on there. Follow that back and it just feels like it's reinforced a long particle accelerating chamber back to what looks like the charging module back here, all the way over here. So that is one detailed out weapon. Starting with the nozzle, working its way back. Charging chamber. A charging chamber that looks like it can even open up to vent power or maybe even release, let's say, waste energy or an overcharge. It's got a way to vent that energy out there to prevent damage to the weapon itself. Maybe it gets so powerfully charged that if it's unable to fire properly, it can purge the energy cell that's charged up, and that's why that looks like it just discharges the cell that has the energy, and hopefully it doesn't blow up under the wing. Yay. No, these cannons are they're my favourite detail on this ship for weaponry. Then we got below it. Now this is the bit that I think is a possible secondary weapon or torpedo launcher. It does have the aesthetic feel that makes you think torpedo launcher. I'm a little bit disappointed that it feels so flat, considering all the heavier detailing that they've gone into the ship. But then again, maybe they used up the polygon count on everything else and they didn't have any polygon count left for that. Considering it's such a small thing and a bit harder to see, can't really blame them. But that's either a torpedo launcher to me, or that is a beam emitter. I mean, nothing wrong with one of these ships having beam emitters, really, so it would be a good thought, but it is probably a torpedo launcher, let's be fair. Now, away from weaponry, for the moment, let's go up here, and I want to discuss this. So we've got a full neck section to the ship here, and there is a lot going on with this neck. If we look, it's very robust, very industrial feeling. Support braces, charging braces, docking clamps, sitting around about there. Not entirely sure what those hatches are underneath, but they could be some kind of purging hatch, you never know. Then you come back to here, and this caught my attention. It's got the red elements that you'd expect from a weapon, but it's not placed in an area where I expect a weapon to be placed. I mean, let's see where that is. It's got some viewpoint from it, but it primarily aims forwards, and you can tell by the way it looks, it's definitely aiming forwards, and that's basically straight past the head. So if it is an emitter, they're probably dual beam emitters that have a very, very limited arc of fire due to positioning. So I don't think they're weapons. I would love to know from you guys what you think they might be. Give me an idea what you think that is, because I am lost on that one. Now then, off of that random bits, and I could go into all the vents that you can see on this ship, because it is such an industrial feeling ship. But let's go to the wings now. The wings are possibly some of my favourite parts. It takes the original Machala aesthetic, which I hate, gives it the more next generation DS9 feel to the bird of prey, and then also combines that very well with the Machala's original aesthetic to get this nice long sweeping wing. Essentially, what would normally have been the cannons at the end of a bird of prey's wings have become this larger fin. It's much larger than you'd normally expect, but it works well. The only thing that disappoints me is that by knowing what that would normally have been in your typical case of bird of prey, it would have been nice for what looks like the light twin disruptor nozzles to have been amped up a little bit, made a little bit bigger, because you can see there's a lot of stuff going on there to that weapon. There is a lot of stuff going on behind it. It would be nice to see that with a bit more of a tip to it, like a bit of more of a weapon tip. Something to make it feel even more powerful. More going on with these wings though. I'm loving the feathering detail, because it's not over the top. It's not like you would see on a Romulan ship, but they've remembered to keep the feathering detail in there, just because this is a bird of prey. And the Klingon badge and Klingon text just looks absolutely amazing on the wing, if I'm blunt and honest about it. Go towards the back, and I'm going to have to drop down a little bit here, but it looks like a skid as well, which is possibly one of my favourite elements to that wing. It's the fact that it's dropping down, and then it drops so harshly, it literally looks like skids. I mean, I wouldn't want to crash this bird of prey, honestly, on them, because I do feel like... Well, okay, no, let's be honest here. If Discovery was able to crash and keep itself in one piece, I'm pretty sure this bird of prey can. I mean, it might pull a Voyager and rip its nacelle off, but hopefully not. Speaking of, yes, these little wingtips that are normally just cannons on a bird of prey, they are nacelles. And I like the design of them. Because if we go in the underside and look at the interior of them, or the inside part of it, you got these beautiful, beautiful warp coils that are on show that can directly see across to the other one. So they got line of sight for once. And look at all this detailing that's going on here. And the industrial pipework again, some charging chamber that I'm assuming that's a plasma charging chamber for the warp coils. That's all I can think of that being. I'm not entirely sure why they're below it, but there's just so much going on with just the wing alone. This is what I mean by this. This is a difficult ship to talk about because there is just so much detailing here. I really do mean there is a lot of detailing. Look up and you've got that huge hatch. Now what's that hatch for? My theory, take a standard looking positioning here, my theory is that that hatch is the warp core hatch, and it can just open and dump. And I'm saying that on the idea that this ship has a warp core similar to what you'd have seen in on a Federation ship. Now I know that's unlikely because Klingon warp cores tended to have a different design, but it's possible. It's possible they could be using a standing warp core, and that would be a dump plate. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure what the hatch might be for. We're going to go up now onto the wings again, where we've got these beautiful black fins. There's not a lot I can say about them, but I do love the detail they add to the wings there. And then you have these huge, well, all can only be described as exhaust vents. Now I feel like those are plasma dumps. Like you've seen on ships before how they can dump plasma or vent plasma. I feel like that's what that's for. That is to literally bleed out excess plasma or things that need to be vented out can all be shot out of that section. Mostly because if you look, it's looking backwards. You go around to the front and looking forwards. That's just screaming, okay, let's vent plasma both directions and completely cloud the ship. Oh my god, it's a smoke screen. Not entirely sure you'd want to cloud the ship in plasma, but we've seen we did see the Sovereign class do it. Was it the Sovereign class? I can't remember. Or was it? No, it might have been the Galaxy. Okay, off of the weird details now that are quite nice to look at. Let's take a look at, before we go to the mission modules, these impulse engines. Oh. If there was something that made me really like the ship, what really got my attention was these impulse engines. Explain. In every Klingon ship in this game, and the Burrell kind of falls into it because the Burrell does have that type of impulse array, I don't like them. It looks like backwards Bassard collectors, and I don't know why, but I don't like that look. I like an impulse array that's been slightly enshrouded by something. Just a bit of clothes off bit closing it off so it feels like it's specifically pushing particles in one direction, not just every whatnot way. This looks amazing. First of all, I love the fact that, yeah, it's shrouded. I love the fact that there's 2 random hatches next to it as well. That, no idea what they could be doing. To be fair, all we know, that's the warp core dumps. This ship could have 2 warp cores that dumps out there. It's right. A bit bad that they'd be shot past the impulse engine to dump them out, but, well, you know Klingons don't always worry about that kind of thing. But, on this note, I love the fact that with it being shrouded, it's also got that standing appearance. Now, normally, it's a relatively flat and wider, short and wide impulse array, like you've seen for the 2 that's on the wings, in just a basically rectangular shape. I really like the fact that this is standing tall, a tall standing, more narrow impulse array that has been split into 2. Makes it feel really powerful, really strong, and the 2 that are alongside it then just feel like they add to its maneuverability, considering how maneuverable this ship is. That says a lot for me. And this is probably my favourite impulse array design that STO has done. And yes, I'm getting all hyped up over an engine. Let's get up higher than the engine, because it gets better. If you go above the engine, you've got this brilliant impulse crystal design, which looks amazing, and the detailing that heads back towards it is just brilliant. The glowing elements here makes me feel like it's been reinforced and refined. If I drop back down a little bit, either side we've got these little red nodules, and I'm sorry, but to me those are disruptor emitters. Not very often Klingons want to show their back to an enemy, but having weapons on the back would make sense, and my word, does that make sense to me. And then we go up to these mission pods. Now, yes, what we're looking on top of the ship here are mission pods. That's what they naturally have always been. Don't know why they classify as mission pods, what calls them that. But let's get into what I really like about them. First of all, they look like turbine reinforcers to me. Shielded over the top, nice fin, lots of detailing going on them. Especially if you just follow it back, there's so much going on there. But all you gotta do is get a little bit smart, come around here and look at that. Oh, there you go. Looks like a turbine's in there. Obviously it's not a turbine, they're not rotating, but I love that little extra detailing. Is that most people are never going to see that. Cryptic did not need to put that in, but that just looks amazing. It makes them feel powerful, stronger. The braces that go across to these mission pods look strong as well, like they need to be reinforced. Which makes a lot of sense, because as you come down to the back of them, you've got this, I'm sorry, what simply looks like again, like a jet turbine to me. It feels like these are engines, which would amuse me a little bit if they were. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how they function as engines, because they're also blocked off by this whole entire plate that's above them, but they've got such a nice design. You know, the design just works for me. It works really well. And then you go to this front bit. Now, I'm going to be honest here. At first, I thought that front bit was a bit of weird detailing. It brings this design together. It brings the mission pod together for me. It's all industrialized with smooth plating to the actual industrial pipework and braces that make it feel stronger. This at the front here, to me, feels like these are the Ri'shad collectors. But they're shielded, they're reinforced, and the part that is actually the Ri'shad collector is just this grey venting that's around the outside, and it's just drawing it all in, then concentrating and sending it back to where it needs to be. That's why there's a random pipe coming out of it. Like, all concentrates towards the centre and then off to where you need to be. Go on, muddle along. If I don't stop now, I'm going to end up whittling along over literally every single nook and cranny detail. I mean, I could talk about the very clear extractor vents on top near the mission pod. Let's get on now to the beautiful vanity shields you can get for this ship, shall we? Here we go. Always feels a bit weird coming out of demo record to the normal game. Just the render scale change doesn't work for me. Right, let's have a look at what we've got here. First of all, Machala with the Alliance vanity shield. Some of you may have seen this before. Some of you who follow the same Facebook page as me, such as STO Space Doc, will have actually seen this next to the NX class when I decided to show about the size difference. Hello. Does look mighty good, considering that this ship could have been flown by other ships of the Alliance. It's nice to see that the Alliance skin works so well on this ship. I mean, let's be fair, this is probably the Klingon vessel that would be most willing to say, you know what, you're allies with the Empire, you can fly this ship. Hello, look at that, impulse array actually has something in there to improve the actual thrust as well. Nice to know. I've got to say that the entire hull pattern, all of the final workings just look amazing on this ship. For a Klingon vessel, the white look just looks brilliant. Oh, this better look good. Burrell. Sorry, Biol. Burrell? Biol vanity shield. Whew. You see, that's how the Machala should look. Damn, she is screaming section 31 at me. Yeah, that's... The deflector brings that together for me. That's terrifying. She looks scary. Call that one the Nightingale. Or the Crow. Yoink. Next up, Bald vanity shield. I mean, not bad looking. It's got a good feel to it, I will say that. I could certainly get behind the look. We are the cooperative. We have assimilated the Klingon vessel because it is superior. Oh, yes. Not entirely like that, but okay. Alright, yoink. Next up, we go to Disco time. Discovery vanity shield. Now, this should look somewhat nice on the vessel, I'd hope. I mean, it's not a bad look. This is one of those situations, though, where it's funny to see this ship with... Considering it's a Klingon vessel, it's funny to see the Klingon vessel with a Discovery vanity shield. Or should I say, this Discovery vanity shield, because normally they get their own aesthetic version. Which, for the Klingon fans, let's see if I can show it for you. So, for those that were wondering, and I'm starting to wonder why I don't do it here normally, this is her with the Klingon version of the Discovery vanity shield. Yeah, who was expecting that? Sometimes it's always worth just to get a second's perspective of certain shields. You never know, one of them might have a slightly better look. I'm going to quickly... We'll hold here for a second, just because... Look, Ferengi for you. For those that want to see what the Ferengi version looks like. I keep forgetting how I can do this. Egg. I'm not going to lie, the Ferengi actually looks quite good on the ship. Oh. Maybe this is Skyhawkings version. Oh, calling the Ferengi. I mean, not bad looking, let's be fair. Right, back to Fed. So back to Starfleet. Let's have a look at the Emperor's vanity shield. Oh, that just looks amazing. That was like an instantaneous win for me. Oh, I'll get so much enjoyment out of flying with this aesthetic on. Hot diggity damn. That is a nice look. Feklari vanity shield. This one again should look relatively good, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, I do like how when you've got the menu up, some of the plates change the lighting effect. I mean, yeah, it's got a nice feel to it, I'll give it that. Not quite as good as I was expecting though. Let's wash it out and go Kelvin Divergence. This is another one that has an alternate look to it if you look on the Klingon side, but yeah, I don't have the it for the Klingon. Gotta lie though. Normally this washout hull is horrible to look at with just about any aesthetic, but this looks really nice. I could get behind that look very easily. I like it. Oh, I just like the Kelvin Divergence. Oh my god, what's going on? Medical vanity shield. Not great. It's not great in my opinion, but it's still something. Kind of sporty, if you ask me. Like he's trying to be a bit more of a sports car in look. Give us some credit. Platinum time. Oh. Oh, that, yeah. That looks nice to me. I could, yeah, I like that's my favourite look. Bit bad for a bird of prey, but that's my favourite look. It doesn't have all the normal platinum's extra highlighting, so it's really just the metallic, almost chrome-like plating that you can find with just a little bit of black. Section 31. This one I'm not expecting to be great. Look at that, deflector looks terrible. I know it's the feeling of the ship, it's what it's going for, but Section 31 just takes a little bit too much away from the vessel. Oh, speaking of bird of prey, bye! Normally I'm flying at this point, so let's get back to flying. It's not bad. It's not the best. Aegis. Difference between the Federation Aegis and the Klingon Aegis is whether it's blue or red. But it glows. In this case, blue would have been red if it was Klingon. If it was red, it would have probably looked alright. All this looks absolutely atrocious to me. Happily didn't mix up in the impulse array too much. Yeah, it'd been way better to see this with the Klingon look. Imagine all that blue is a sort of orangey reddish glow, almost like the same colour as phasers, and that'll give you a rough idea what it looks like. Definitely would be nicer. Oh, we're getting assimilated now. Ooh, and this simulation doesn't stand off too much, does it? Almost terrifying to look at. Resistance is futile. Well, yeah, resisting the Klingon Empire is futile. Not an inaccurate statement. Oh, to be fair, with how small this ship is, that's kind of funny. Just the deflector itself is funny. What the fuck? Yeah, I think I'd pass with this deflector, to be honest. Give that a pass. The impulse bit looks fine. Ah, look where they put the warp core. Just under, or the sail piece. Looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, the deflector bit really kind of ooh, getting in my way. Deflector kind of ruins it, doesn't it? Whoops. Without the deflector, is better. Okay, next up we have the Bajoran. Bajoran shields. Acquired from a certain mission, Bajoran Empire, with the Bajorans themselves, and you know what, it's not bad look. Actually works. Oh my word, this bird of prey is one of the first ships for me that has got a lot of looks on it that work when normally I'm like, nah, not really keen. This is the first one which fundamentally across the board I kind of like the way they all look. Counter Command Covariant Shield. Would it look better with a different hull plating on? But I've now got the image of the Katinga Beta in my head, and yeah, that would look amazing. Or the Type 4 hull would look pretty damn good with this. So that adds a lot of red to it as well. Red and green doesn't not necessarily a bad thing though. I'm not going to jump to conclusions this time. Delta are like Unimatrix. Normally one I would very much dislike. And oh my word, that looks amazing! Oh, whoa! That impulse engine looks atrocious. Fuck. Absolutely beautiful. All the front views, beautiful. All of them. Back view, hideous. All because that impulse array just looks fucked. Like it's never quite finished. Dyson Regenerative Shield Array. Which, to be fair, I'm expecting to look blasted good because of what we've seen so far. And it really does, actually. Oh, now I just want to go for a Polaron build on it as well. Or Tetron would work with the purple. It's the red and the purple just... Oh, it's like someone's done the impulse array pink. To be fair though, it actually looks really nice. Again, I like it. I am definitely a fan of this. Right, next one up, Iconian. Now, again, I was going into this one not really expecting it to be bad. It looks atrocious on the mission pods, but at the same time, it's not as bad as I've seen in the past. It's just a shame the pattern doesn't really work well on this kind of bodywork. I mean, Yeah, technically it should work better because this is all curved edges and very smooth edges as well, but it just doesn't quite work for me. Lucari restoration time. Again, quite a nice look. Turned out quite nicely for the ship. Impulse array looks absolutely amazing. Kind of worried about the extra glowing element underneath it. Looks amazing. Yeah, there's random areas of glowing, like down there between the cannons. Don't quite make sense to me, but hey, who am I speak? Hey, who am I? Mako. This was not what I was expecting, if I'm honest. But it lets the ship keep its nicer detailing in there, doesn't it? I do like the random elements of gold with the green. It works together. And the way it's smoothed out the circular ring on the mission pods, that is also quite nice. So overall, I quite like the look. I could easily use Mako on this ship. Okay. Let's go. Whoops, where are we at? Folian. The Folian. Nokura crystalline shields here. He's better bit. That looks absolutely amazing. Well, they're my favourites in half. Yeah, now my new number one is now this one. Boom! It's been a while since I've got to call the I mean, it'd be nice if it was more metallic, but it's been a while since I get to call the Folians my absolute favourite on something. Prevailing. Oh, it's in the look. Actually, Prevailing might be about to take it. This is the competitive shield, that is. Competitive up, and $50-50. I mean, yeah, that blue glow they got underneath there looks great, but it's 50-50 with me. If I'm honest, and I should be honest. I'm just saying. Okay, next up. Can this really be our place? Romulan Advanced Prototype. Yeah, see, that's just added green glows to it. It would be better if I used this on a different hull plate, so it stands out a bit better. Like the actual Machala hull, this would have been a great one to combine with, to be fair. Oh, sorry about my twitching hand. Give her a spin on the spot. Alright, we now have the Temple Defense. That's a interesting look. Some of you might like it. Me, not so keen. It's the rainbow effect on all the random spots that just don't make sense to me. So yeah, not too keen there, personally speaking. Terran Task Force, come on, this should be good. Oh my. What am I doing? God damn it. Sorry. Wrong button. definitely a case of oh my. Looks very nice. Dielectric oscillating. The trash bin one. Much like I call the Kelvin divergent washout. So this should be interesting. Shit. I don't actually mean I think it's shit. More, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's far from being one of like my favourites or one that I like, but it, for once, doesn't look too bad. She's a very pleasant change, if I'm honest. Jem'Hadar! Hello, I've seen you already myself. I've already seen this one already because I had to do it. I like having grey and purple looks, what can I say? So every time I get a ship, I immediately bring up Jem'Hadar relatively quickly. And let me just say right now, this is a stunning look for the ship. I really do think this is an amazing look. It's not my favourite, but it's up there. It is right up there with them. The AKS Metal Pixie has never looked more beautiful. Finally, Riemann. Advanced Prototype. Now, I knew this one was going to look good. I know this is called the Marmite Shield with me. For a reason, you either love it or hate it. And definitely with me, I either end up loving it or hate it. Some people like this shield naturally. Some people hate the shield naturally. I'm one of the ones that is always 50-50. I'm either going to love it on the ship or I'm going to hate it on the ship. I knew I was going to like it on this ship just because of the way all the pattern, all the plates work on it. So I knew immediately there was no way there was going to be a lot of the honeycomb pattern on this ship. Honeycomb pattern is in just the right spots. And the extra detailing, like on the head of this Machala class. On the head, that just looks beautiful. It just makes the ship feel more refined. It's not my favourite. Far from it. Damn, does she look good. My Federation character is actually going to have to keep a Klingon ship. That's so weird to say. Just so I can fly this from time to time. Which is annoying to say because I kind of really like the Federation version of this ship. God damn. I'm a happy boy. A very, very happy boy. So guys, we've reached the end of this. We're now out off to other subjects. So let me know below, what do you think of this ship? Do you like her look? Do you think this was as good of update as I think this was? 'Cause to me, Cryptic have outdone themselves again. Cryptic have made really good modern variants of Discovery Federation ships. But their first attempt on a Klingon ship is absolutely stunning. Why couldn't they have done this with all the other Klingon ones? I wish all the other Klingon ships got this now. I really do. Because this is absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful vessel. Cryptic, you've done a stunning job. My final score for this ship, visual-wise, is 10 out of 10. Yes, visually speaking, I'm giving the ship 10 out of 10. Because the things that I would normally find to be a negative, something I just generally wouldn't like, I end up not really noticing them at all. There is a negative on this ship that I don't specifically like. But as you may have noticed, I forgot to mention it because I don't notice it over all the things I like about the ship. And that's when the ship's done. That to me is when the ship is designed brilliantly. When all the positives make the negatives disappear. She's a beauty. God, I'm gonna love reading the comment section for this ship. Guys, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate you watching to the very end of this video. I'm sorry it's longer. These visual reviews tend to be. Hopefully, you guys have liked the video enough to consider liking and maybe even subscribing. And can I just say right now, a huge thank you to the people credited on screen for your support, your generosity and your support of the channel and helping it stay alive and grow. I couldn't do what I do without that generosity, so guys, sincerely, thank you. For anyone wondering, if you do wish to sponsor or donate to the channel to help me grow, to help the channel become more of a full-time thing, the links are in the description below, along with the links for social media. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow us either on Twitter or Discord to keep up to date on what I'm working on. But with that being said, again, a massive thank you to all of you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Helm, take us out. Oh, and guys, remember, fight with honor. Kapla. Engage.